Welcome to Women Leading AI. This is a space where women are not just using AI, they're shaping it, they're leading it, and building with it with purpose. So today our conversation is powerful. We're diving into what it truly looks like to go from trauma to innovation. So Taffany and I are here with Suzy Adams. And if you've ever wondered how your story, your voice, or your calling can intersect with AI, you're in the right place. So Suzy, tell us about your new AI business.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I really
Awesome.
appreciate it. So, R3 is rebirth, rebuild, and rise. So, it is a framework for women that's gone through traumatic experiences and it helps guide them to their God given purpose. So, the rebirth, the R3s isn't just like a framework or a sentence. It is basically you can't rebuild something that you haven't gone through, right? And you
Correct.
can't rise without rebuilding.
That's good.
So this was actually built out of my personal experience, right? So as I was going through this moment in my life, I realized like this is not just for me, right? This is for other women. And if I had this roadmap to get to where I'm at today, possibly I can use this for other women to get to where I'm at. And so this, God never wastes anything, right? He uses your trauma and he uses everything that you've gone through. And that's just how this blueprint happened.
So, what does the phrase from trauma to innovation really mean to you?
Okay, I'm gonna try not to cry just because this is so personal to me, right? Because R3 was built from the trauma and now is innovation, and that's what got me here today. So you can use trauma to help propel you to your God given purpose in life. And at that moment, I didn't know. I was documenting, my process when I was going through things in my life, and that document and the emails I sent to myself, the text messages and things that I wrote down on my notepad. And my it's so funny that I tell this story because I was like talking to myself on my phone in my car like I had an audience and I didn't. But that trauma brought me where we are today, and it became the R3 Trinity Framework. And you never know what's going to be born out of your trauma. You just know this is not something that is just for me because maybe it can help someone else. And so that's where the innovation parts come from, is because now what I've gone through, I can now give to other people and help other women. I kind of pave the path for other women and allow them to get to where they need to be in life.
Okay, so is this an app? Is this a program? What exactly is it?
So no, it's not an app. Maybe in the
Okay,
future it could
okay,
be an app, right?
okay.
Like that could be something that I could do in the future. Right now, it's my website, and on my
Okay.
website I have different like free guidance. They can download a free transformation guidance. They can sign up for a 7-day like transformational email series, or they can have a breakthrough call with me. And the unique thing about AI, what I built on my website, they can put in where they're at. Like I'm feeling this type of way, and which pillar am I at? And then when they put that in the story on my website, it gives them, are they in the rise pillar? Are they in the reborn pillar or the rebirth pillar?
Isn't that good?
Right? So, and it just gives it to them
This
instantly.
is so good.
Right? So I love that. I'm so excited when I go in there, I test it out, and I'm like, I feel awful today. and it really transforms you. So you don't have to have someone there with you when you're feeling down or depressed at 2 a.m. You can do it alone. And what if they're not ready to talk to me? They're not ready to put their story out like I wasn't, back then. This tool helps them kind of navigate where they should go next.
Well, this
Wow.
is so very important because I
Yeah.
am in the trauma realm as well. I have a
Really?
Facebook group called Freedom Family, and I am starting a app for the trauma. And so when you think about the things, the tools that
Yeah.
AI can do for you, What helped you decide to use AI for trauma itself?
You know, when I got into the AI space, I had no idea what I was going to do. And then I was just trying out different things. And I had a mentor ask me, what is your calling? Like, what do you want to do? And everybody comes to me for everything. And that's what I tell them. I was like, everybody comes to me. And I feel like I'm always that voice for, whoever is coming to me, and I give them guidance. And I was telling him my story about all my trauma and things that I did. And he's like, well, you keep talking about AI. You keep going back to AI. Why don't you just start with your story?
Yeah,
That's
good.
so
Right.
great.
And so that's what I
Yeah.
did. I
Yeah.
started with my story, and that's how I got into the trauma in AI. And all I did was just give it my trauma. I gave it all my information.
Right.
So, yeah, that's how it started.
And I was getting ready to ask you, when you came to building your website, did you utilize AI to build the website as well?
Absolutely. Of course I did.
What did you use to build your website?
So I used an app called Lovable. So in that app, well, before Lovable, I used another AI tool called Claude. So I know a lot of people know ChatGPT, but Claude really, I put both of them in there, but I really like the output of Claude. And what I want people to know is that whatever you put into the AI is what it gives you out. And you can always edit it or transform it, like however you want it to speak to you. And so I use that. I put all those videos I was telling you guys about, and all the emails that I had written, all the text messages that I written to myself. I put it all into Claude and in ChatGPT. But again, I like the output of Claude. And then I told Lovable, here's my vision. This is what I want. Can you build me a website for this?
I have a question. How much technical experience did you have before entering the world of AI?
I think I'm pretty technical, but however, I don't know anything about AI or building a website or anything like that. So I feel like it's easy to do because what you're doing is just telling it what you want. You just speak to it like I'm having a conversation with you two ladies. Here's what I want. Here's my vision. And I don't think you really have to be technical to do that, right?
Because I know when you're talking about building websites and it taking you to another tool and you being able to download something and find out where you're at in this process or this journey, these three pillars or areas that you're at. A lot of times that takes coding experience.
Right.
Like being able to code to tell it what it is that you want it to do. So what you're telling me is, y'all listen, you were able to talk to a program
Yes.
and tell it what you wanted,
Yes.
and it produced it for you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
100%.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
fantastic. So please share specific ways AI helped you organize your ideas to clarify your message.
So I would say it asks, like, what do you want? Like, what do you want people to see? Right? Because, by the way, it does ask you questions, okay? So when I said if you can talk, just talk to it. And then it'll ask you clarifying questions. Or you can ask it, hey, do you have everything that, you need to help me, right?
Oh, that's so good.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You
good.
could do that. You can ask it that. So I used the AI to help structure like the website, and I was thinking to myself the three pillars, because really my first thing was Suzy Road to Recovery. That's what it started with, right? And so I kind of transitioned into the R3, and so I wanted to be able to have the women move through different phases, and so I had to tell AI this is what I wanted, right? My AI name is Max. You can name it too and make it personal. I'm like, hey, Max, this is what I want. So, I'm telling them what I want. Here's the phases that I want. I want them to be able to download a guide. I want them to get an email series. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to tell you so you can help me walk through what I need to put and give you the input to to get the Lovable so I can have this on my website. I kind of went back and forth with the two, Claude and with Lovable, because Lovable, you know, they say, oh, you need this. I'm like, I don't know what that is. And then I ask Claude, like, what is this? Lovable said I need this.
Yeah, I love that.
yeah,
I love that
I do
about
too.
it. Yeah, it's so conversational.
Yeah.
It is.
And I think that that's a lot of times when we think AI, artificial intelligence, it seems so far-fetched from us until we get in there and start playing around with it and realize that it is such a conversational tool to help us, like you said, organize our thoughts, give us a framework of some sort, or we give it what we've done and what we've had, and it says, oh, well, you've already done this.
Yep.
Like, and it's done that too. Well, you've already figured this out.
Yeah.
You know, let me just help you, you know, put some words to you, what you're thinking. So it's really, really cool.
It is.
Yeah.
When you decided to use AI for your vision, what were the specific ramifications that you considered before using it? Were you considering how safe it would be? You know, those type of things.
Well, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
I wanted it to be authentic,
Come on.
right? Because my story is very unique, right? And it's very sacred because personally, I've had this in my vault, I would call it, for 8 years now.
Yeah.
And it's been 8 years since all this trauma happened to me. And now I'm coming out with it and I'm ready to help other people and other women walk through that. So the biggest thing for me was the authenticity of it. I want it to tell the story the way I, went through the story. Because it's relatable when you talk to people about what you've gone through and how you survived, right? That is, they gravitate towards you. I mean, some people do think of AI, in that sense, but that was my main reason. I wanted to tell my story how I would tell my story.
Yeah.
That is so good.
So you weren't really concerned about the safety factors. That is one of the issues that women have.
Yeah.
If I put too much into artificial intelligence, will it become a safety issue for me?
Right.
And so I encourage women, do not put anything that you are concerned about.
Yeah.
Right.
The organizations, the creators of AI have safety measures in place. However, there are some who can hijack those safety measures.
Yeah.
And so that is so good that you weren't really concerned about it. You were concerned about being authentic.
Yes.
And authenticity is very important, especially when you're dealing with women, other women who have dealt with trauma.
Yeah.
And so this speaks to you're using AI to be in relationship with other women.
Yep.
And so, ladies, you can use AI for the same things. I know that many women are very cautious about AI. They think that AI can be used for bad and harm and all of that, and it can be, like anything else.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But you are using it for good, and that is so great to hear.
One of the things I love about what you said is that this was your story. So you were able to fact check it as it came out. Like if it said something that was not authentic and genuine to your story and your journey, you were able to then go back and say, hey, you got this piece wrong, correct it, this was not how it happened, this is how it happened. And I think that's very important, that we need to always check the sources of where we get our information from as well. And that's just as simple as saying, hey, thank you so much for the information, where did you get this information from? Now, if it's from us, we know if it's right or not.
Right.
But if we're asking for some type of specific information for whatever reason, we can also ask it, what was your source? And it will tell you what the source was.
So how do you ensure that AI supports your voice and vision without replacing the humanity of your story?
I think it goes back to what I was saying about being authentic, right?
Okay.
Because this is very near and dear to me, just because I lived it. And I went through it. I know how it made me feel I'm going to take a break. I know how it made me feel. So going through that, it's depression. Like, nobody wants to talk about that, right? Nobody wants to talk about the moment when you were depressed and how you overcame that. So I didn't want AI to produce something that wasn't me.
Come on.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like God uses your trauma.
Absolutely.
He doesn't waste anything, even though when you're in that painful moment,
Right.
you don't,
Right.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you do not see it. You do not
Yeah.
see the light at the end of the tunnel.
No.
Right? You're like, I can't survive this. Like, there's no way I can look at the brighter side of things. So
What leadership lessons emerged for you while building something so personal into a platform?
I think for me, it was being obedient.
Okay.
Because, again, like I said, I did not want to share what I went through. No one knew what I was going through. And the obedient factor basically said, good job, my daughter.
Yeah.
You are doing what I
come
called you
on.
to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because had I not come out with what I've gone through, it may not, I can't reach the woman that is in that survival mode still and need me to help her get to that next level. Right? So in leadership, sometimes you have to be the student before you can lead other people. And so in that moment of my life, I feel like I was the student. I was the example. Now go out and show people what I brought you through. Go out and bring others to me.
Brings me back to the scripture about the enemy is overcome by the blood of the Lamb as well as the words of our testimonies.
Yes.
So by you being that trailblazer and having the opportunity to sometimes take some of the bumps and bruises so that somebody else doesn't have to, that's true leadership. So
It is,
thank you for your yes.
Yes. What is the bigger picture, the bigger vision for the R3 Trinity Framework?
So I want to eventually do a book for it. And that book is going to be very detailed information.
And you know you can use AI.
And guess what? I am planning on doing that. And I've already started like my first chapter in AI.
Yes.
So it's phenomenal because like when I started it, they was like, oh yeah, look and see what I've produced and tell me, is it you? And I'm reading through it and I'm in tears.
Right.
Wow.
Because every time I go back and I reread what I had gone through, it brings back so many emotions because you have to relive those moments in your life. But you overcame it, right? And so I read through that and I remember sending it to like some of my friends and my family. I was like, look what I've done. This is like the first, like the intro to my book. Wow. And one of my friends emailed me back and she's like, Suzy, I cried. Because some people were there with me in those moments and see me now, right? They see me thriving now. So the book, I do want to eventually do speaking engagements and then also have like a women's retreat. Long term, I really wanted to replace my full-time income.
Come on.
Because it's all about the money because, you know, going full-time with this would mean it's full-time impact. And that's where I want to be. You know,
love it.
Being able to impact more women. And the more time I have, I can do that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what advice would you give women who has had deep lived experiences, wisdom, or even a calling, but has not turned it into a framework?
Well, I know this is going to sound cliche, but start. Right? That's what they should do.
Yeah.
I think they should start. I think they should write it down. I think they should think about what they really want and what their calling is, right? And then use AI. Use the tools to help kind of put it all together and if they want to do a book or if they want to do a podcast. I mean, it's so many tools out there in the AI realm where they can do a book, they can do a podcast. If they want to do a website, it's just like through the roof how many options there are out there. But I think the main thing is being able just to start and do the work, and then everything will follow.
You know, books, podcasts, talk shows,
Yeah.
television series.
Yes.
There is so much that AI can do for us.
A lot.
But we have to take the initiative
You're right.
to implement.
Yep.
Amen.
And it comes from intentionality. Too.
Absolutely.
And I
To be
also think, it starts in our mind, right? And our mindset has to shift in order for us to even be able to see that this is something that's possible for us. And a lot of that comes from getting around the right people as well. So community is very important. I speak about kingdom currency all the time. We may not have the physical currency, but we got kingdom currency because we got community and we have collaboration.
Yes.
Here's the truth. AI is not here to replace our voices.
Right.
No.
It's here to amplify what God has already placed within us. Do you agree?
I agree 100%.
So in thinking about that, what is your next step for your framework?
So I think the next steps, I'm actually walking into the next steps, really.
Okay.
I mean, because I did tell you I want to do speaking engagements. Look, here I am
Yes,
on the podcast.
yes.
So everything is coming to fruition. And then my book the plan is to be done this year. And then eventually have a conference for women to come in and being able to just express themselves authentically and not being judged by how they feel and where they are in their steps of recovery. And eventually, I talked to one person and she told me my vision reminded her of the Alcoholics Anonymous. And she was like,
that's so good.
I know. I didn't even.
My.
Obviously I've never been in that. So I had no idea. But when I was telling her about it, she was like, that's what reminded me, like what you have in your vision reminded me of that. It's bigger than you, Suzy.
Yeah.
What are your next steps in AI?
So I think my next steps in AI is to make AI more of an assistant to me so I can do less work and then do more of my work.
Okay.
It will free me up, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm working on now, automating things because a lot of people don't know it's not just, ChatGPT and you just talk to it and it just spits out stuff. There are different layers to this AI thing.
It is.
The more you know, the more you know.
Yeah.
And then you can even ask AI, how can I use you more efficiently?
Yes.
And I want an assistant. Tell me how I can build an assistant. This is what I need the assistant to do. Can you help me with that? And so that's my vision for AI. AI being able to take over a lot of the work that I do and automate it for me. And so
did you have any concerns starting AI?
I don't think I had any concerns.
Okay.
I think I was like, this is a lot. A lot, at one point I was like, this is a lot going on. But I think once you start using it, it's just, it comes natural. And then people don't realize, let me tell you this, they don't realize that they already use AI.
Yes, a lot.
I was in my kitchen and I was like, Alexa is asking me if I need a ride somewhere. Like, you ask Alexa all kinds of stuff. That's AI.
Yes.
But people don't even realize that Alexa is AI. And then on my phone, you use the what's the thing called? The GPS.
Yes. We talked about that on another episode.
Oh my gosh.
Who knows how to use a map or atlas anymore?
Nobody. I turn on my car and my GPS comes up like, are you driving? Like, how do you know I'm driving? Like, I just turned on the car.
Yeah, my phone will send, somebody tries to text me or call me, it'll send people a message and say that I'm driving.
Yeah.
Like, my phone is doing that automatically. And so there's so much automation that we don't even think about. I was telling someone, even predictive text.
Yes.
You can start writing something and it will predict what's
what you're
next.
saying.
That's from a large learning model.
Yes.
That's artificial intelligence. So we've been using it for so long.
Yes.
But people just don't realize
They don't.
Yes, your story matters, your experience matters, your leadership matters, especially at this moment. And when, Taffany, what would you say to women who are still struggling to balance whether or not they want to use AI?
Well, I think it goes back. I was telling someone the other day about data, like when I remember dial-up coming. And I remember before dial-up, I was saying, oh, I'll never get on the World Wide Web, you know? Right? I'll never get on the world. Now the World Wide Web is right in my hand everywhere I go on my phone. This is not going anywhere, number one. It's here. It's here to stay, and it is advancing very quickly. So the best thing you can do is just start. And there again, there are some safety measures that you can take, especially with ChatGPT, because that's what's common to everyone. Go into your settings. Go where you see your little profile. Click on where you see your profile. Then click on settings. From settings, go down to data control. And the very first thing that's on that screen, toggle it to off. That automatically will save you from being able to utilize all your data or information to train other large learning models out there. And then you can go a little bit further, as Suzy was explaining to us, and turn on second or two form authentication.
Authentication.
I have trouble saying that word. But you can turn that on so that if someone does get a hold to your device or they get a hold to your email or whatever, they are not able to look at what you've done before or take your information and utilize it for any other purposes. So there are things that we can do to safeguard those areas, but one thing I don't want you to do is close your eyes to it. Because I'm telling you, it's not going anywhere. And we need to be aware if we ever plan on having children and grandchildren or any other young people around us, they're going to be learning AI before it's second nature to them.
Right. AI can be valuable to you. So I encourage you, ask God, Lord, how can I use AI? What value can AI, artificial intelligence, have for me? And listen to what he has to say. If he says don't use it, don't use it. Don't use it. You're already using it. Most of you are already using it. But I'm just saying, if he is not giving you very specific instructions to use the apps, use the tools and all of that, don't use it and trust God to use you the way that he wants to use you. But AI is here. And so, Suzy, as we're wrapping up, what would you say to the women as far as their fears or concerns about AI?
I would say don't be fearful because, like you said, it's here to stay. And you already use it every day. I mean, it may not be directly, it may be indirectly using AI. But when you're using it on your phone, or if you have like the Alexa, you're not even thinking about the risk.
Right.
Yes. You're not thinking about that at all.
Yeah.
It's just second nature.
Exactly.
Just start and use it. It's going to change their life. I'm telling you.
Yes,
it will.
definitely
It is.
will.
Yes,
It will.
It will. Thank you so much for joining us. What God is doing in your life is so fantastic, and we will definitely be praying for you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining Women Leading AI. Stay tuned for the next episode. God bless.